Hey, what's up everybody? It's Priyon Joni. So every now and then I'll be watching a video or a live stream of a DJ or artist, and then I'll catch something in the comments that goes sort of like this.
He's touching knobs for no reason.
Fake DJ.
And I get it. Once in a while there are people who over-exaggerate the theatrics of twisting knobs and make it look like they're doing something when they're actually not. But I think the criticism has expanded itself a little too far, that sometimes when the audience doesn't notice or hear anything with the knob twisting, all of a sudden you're called
a fake DJ.
But I actually disagree. I think there are actually several cases where it's acceptable to touch a knob, a fader, a slider, or a button, and nothing is noticeable or audible. And I believe it's totally okay. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of heat from the purist and the keyboard warriors, who's probably gonna let it rip with that dislike button and in my comment section, to which I say, wouldn't be the first time I got mad. Thanks for paying my bills. So today's video are 9 reasons when it's okay to touch your knobs, faders, sliders, or buttons. Number 1, finding where you are positionally. Here's a wireless computer keyboard. One of the things that you notice about the F key and the J key is that there's a little print on there so you can feel where it's at. Why is that there? The reason is so that you can position your index fingers on the right spot so that when you start typing, you start typing with the right keys. Because if you're a little off to the left or to the right, you could completely mistype what you're trying to type. It helps keep your hand in position. At a gig, you could be looking at something else. You could be looking at the computer, the crowd, or the environment is just really, really dark. And you need to put your hand on your gear, on your mixer, just so that you know where the positions are so you don't accidentally twist or engage any function that you don't mean to touch. This is why certain knobs are even sized differently so that you know when it's a trim knob, or the texture is different where it's metallic, then I know it's the color effects knob, like on the DJI MS-11. So it doesn't necessarily mean you are doing anything that's audible or performative. It just means that you're just trying to find where you are. I actually have this bad habit of doing it in the car with the temperature controls, but it's completely okay. Number 2, making sure everything is set to neutral. Nothing is more embarrassing than fading over or slamming over to another track where you're expecting high energy, but you forgot the bass knob down. It's totally okay to double check, to verify that every setting is where you want it to be. A real life example of this is that when you're driving a manual transmission car, when you're in neutral, you just hit it left and right so that you make sure that you're not in gear. Touching the knobs helps you verify that you're at 12 o'clock because you're just checking if that thing clicks. You don't want to be in the wrong spot when you're bringing a track in. Number 3, making sure that your faders are in the position you want. What if you were planning on putting your crossfader in the middle because you wanted to do a mix with the channel faders, but when you do it, you accidentally play the track because the fader was wide open. Verifying that your faders, just like the knobs, are in the position you want them to be helps you make sure to avoid that potential problem. Number 4, just because the audience didn't hear anything when you did something, it doesn't necessarily mean you didn't do anything. You know, the characteristics of a really, really good mix is when you don't actually notice that there's a transition. And it's not about slamming the bass and doing swaps. Sometimes everything can be so subtle that the audience, even DJs, don't notice the difference. And it's actually a compliment when somebody says, oh, he's not even doing anything. Sometimes some things can be so subtle that nobody notices when you're actually doing them. Number 5, some DJs could be preparing a certain setting or testing out a setting, whether it's with the EQ, the effects, and they're just queuing it up in their headphones and listening to it, and you might not actually hear it. I don't think I have to elaborate on the fact that that's what the headphones are for, is for previewing Not just the track that you're about to play, but maybe a setting with the effects or the EQ that you're about to introduce. Number 6, well, similar to number 5, some DJs start saying, oh, he's scratching and I don't hear anything. Well, for the same reason, he could be queuing up a track, or he could be just previewing a section of the song, whether it's good enough to scratch. And many times, somebody's just winding up to get ready to bring a scratch in. Number 7, sometimes touching the knobs within reason or tapping on the performance pads or cue button helps get you in rhythm. I think every DJ has had that moment where they hit the play button or the hot cue a little too early or a little late and they had to correct it. Having a moment where you're tapping it in actually helps get you into that rhythm. No human being gets it computer perfect, so winding up to it actually helps your accuracy right before you bring a track in. Number 8, performing musicians do the same thing with live instruments. There's probably a lot of actual live performances that you've seen where you see a guitarist playing or you see a percussionist and you probably don't hear the instrument playing because it's not their time or they're muted by the sound engineer. But they're actually playing their instrument and they're in the groove, but it's just not at the section of the time to show the audience what they're doing. Dancers do something similar where they actually fill small little moves in between their main moves to fill those little gaps. And I like to think of DJing and mixing arts as a performance, and you have these habits of doing number 1 to 7 as part of your performance. And number 9, checking on your knobs and faders is better than having a song mix and standing there waiting for 2 minutes until you're ready to play that next song, as some DJs expect you to do. Here's something the purists don't tell you. It's actually okay to be enjoying the music you're playing. I would hope that there'd be a little bit of a groove with you when you're playing the music you're playing. That might include a bop, that might include checking your knobs, making eye contact, making sure security takes care of the people trying to make a request. And one of the best ways to show people that you deserve that they dance to you is to be enjoying the music yourself. The last thing you want to convey to your crowd is how bored you are, mixing in the most robotic movements ever. For me, I have ADHD and social anxiety, so I have to keep moving. And I don't know if I'm just speaking for myself, but I enjoy it when the performer is enjoying what they're doing. So don't just stand there. Look like you mean what you're doing. That stiff, cool look of looking like this when you spin is every DJ in your comment section without a gig. So once again, it's totally okay to be touching your knobs even if it's not doing anything performative. Same goes on the platter, the jog wheels, the buttons, the sliders, whatever it is. It's your performance. Do what makes you feel comfortable and feel good. I would be performing miserably if I listened to all the trolls. I'd probably be angry talking about the good old days when I used to play vinyl. So the next time someone tries to tell you that you're touching and twisting knobs for no reason, you can tell them to go f themselves or share the link to this video. Anyways, if you agree with me or disagree with me, share it in the comment section below. As always, I'm going to leave product links to the DJI MS-11 and the PLX 1000s down below. The product links are going to be from Zounds because they have one of the best payment plan programs you can find online. It's really easy to qualify for. Grab it at Zounds. If you like this video, please smash that like button. And if it's your first time here and you found this video useful, please click that subscribe button. And don't forget to click that little bell icon so you get a notification the next time I upload a video. Don't forget to add me on Twitch, where I will be doing a lot of my live streams moving forward. I like to switch around what gear I'm using so I can show you all the gear that I've showed you in my YouTube videos. Anyways, really appreciate you for watching. Take care and stay healthy.